Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, it's Al again here, and today I'd like to announce the release of AyahLab 1.3.0. It's a major release. I've added a lot of features that was missing from the initial release of the app, and also some of the requests coming from you as well. And yeah, so let's get started. So for this one, before we download the app itself, I just also like to inform you that the website has a blog page already. So here, for example, so when you go to the home page, you can see here the blog page. And here, as you can see, I have the announcement already of the AyahLab 1.3.0. And you can scroll and you can see what are the added features in this application. So yeah. So and by the way, if you are curious about the link of the AyahLab, so it's ayahlab.com. So you can just go into this website, and then you should just go to click the blog and you will see it, right? Apart from that, I also like to highlight that AyahLab has now a Twitter page. So you can also follow the Twitter page of AyahLab, Alhamdulillah. And then also I've also linked here the YouTube channel as well, right? Okay, so let's start and click the download page. Yeah, so here in the download section of the app, so you can see here we have another version. It's 1.3.0. And then we have, it's available in Windows already, and then it's also available in Mac OS, and both for Silicon version and also the Intel version. So I've added the Intel version already. Some of you have emailed me regarding this, so Alhamdulillah, one of our brother has also tested this already and it worked, right? As for the Linux, a lot of you have requested for different types of installation built, at least. So I've added here for Debian, of course, and then I have here also for Fedora. This is .rpm, and then I still have the app image. So do let me know if you still find some issues. Feel free to send email, for example, or I mean you can just what is this, send a feedback here, for example. Or if you have some, say, UI issues or UI bugs, I've also added a AyahLab Discord, so you can click here the Ask and Discuss. So if you click that, you will be routed to AyahLab Discourse, and you can join here and you can just post a topic, for example, and you can attach the image and so on and so forth, so that me and also the rest of the users can look into your concern, and maybe they can also help
It's
you
1 o'clock.
if I'm not able to help you. Yeah, that was the announcement from my laptop. So it's 1 a.m. already, and that's the typical time that I record these videos. Anyway, so going back, let's go to the blog itself, right? So what are the new features, right? So by the way, before I proceed to that, so you can just click here the download link, right? You can just click. It depends, of course, on what OS you're using, and then once you've downloaded that, and then you can start using it. But for this video, I'm also going to, apart from opening the app, we are going to follow what are the new features here, right? So we're going to use this blog post as our guide for the app. So here's the app. So, but let me just open it here. So let me open. So I'm using Mac. Okay. So there you go. So this is the app itself. Let me just minimize myself. So for this app, okay, so what's new in this application itself, right? So number one, as you can see here, it has a let me just bring it myself again. So it has a pop-up toast here. Any new blog post from AyahLab, it will pop up here actually, and so you can just click this, see post, for example, and then you will be routed. So in this case, it detected this one, and so you got routed. Once you click that, it will go away. It will never come up, not unless we have a new blog post from the website, and that's the time it will pop up, right? Okay. So the next thing is that I'd like to highlight. As you can see, it has now a different UI because I'm actually using a Sukun mode already. So let me just disable that so that you have a familiar UI. So this is the familiar UI, right? One of the things that I've added here is number one, the multi-language support. So as you can see here, we have here multi-language support, 18 languages supported, right? So I've added here 18 languages. So if you go here, then go to settings, you'll find the language here. So it's default to English, but as you can see, I can have Arabic here, right? And then once now in Arabic, everything will now be in Arabic, right? As you can see here, even here, for example, okay, let me just click that. Okay. So as you can see here, it's also in Arabic, right? The other piece, of course, so that's 18 languages. So I can go to any other language here. So assuming Japanese. So this is how it will look like if it is in Japanese, for example, right? And so on and so forth, right? Even here, for example, so as you can see here, there's a Japanese text there, or for codes, for example. So everything got translated, right? The next thing is so that's for the language. So let me just go back to English. All right. The next thing is the reciter page. So as you can see here for reciter, you can now have the app itself has now 5 reciters that you can choose from, and then from those 5 you can choose just 2 that you're going to put here in the recitation player. So I have here Maher and Abdul Basit, but I can also click this icon. This is like a link. No, it's not a link. Like that's just more options for this reciter. So once you click that, you'll have to choose your 2 reciters that you would want to put into the recitation player. So here I have here Maher, and then my number 2 here is Abdul Basit, right? So if I say I want to have, say, Saad as my first choice for the reciters, and then Yasser as the second, then if I click done, then I have here Saad and Yasser, right? So if I click play here, so let me just go to any other surahs, right? Assuming here, right? So if I play this,
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نون والقلم وما يسطرون ما أنت بنعمة ربك بمجنون وإن لك لأجرا غير ممنون وإنك لعلى خلق عظيم فستبصر.
so as you can see, now I can switch between those 2 reciters, and now it now works, right? And of course, I can change them again if I want to. Let's say, assuming I go to with Abdul Basit as my number 1, and then Yasser as my number 2. Then I can click that, and then assuming I can just go here and then click play.
وأملي لهم إن كيدي متين أم تسألهم أجرا فهم من مغرم مثقلون أم عندهم الغيب فهم يكتبون.
Okay, so as you can see, now we have no more choices for the reciters, right? Now, since we are here already in the parchment side, or the morphology side, the other thing that I've also improved here in terms of the performance is the manuscript. So if you open here, if I click this manuscript icon, it is much more faster in terms of like downloading the data, and also and you will see here. So as you can see here, it has now loaded. So for this one, if I scroll here, so let's see, where is that? Okay, so I have it here. So this one, right? And as you can see here, there's a dot. Okay, now so we still have more manuscripts that are actually coming in. But as you can see here, it has fully downloaded the image itself. And for you to know that it has fully downloaded, there's a dot already here. right? So for that one, it's now much better and also much faster as well. As you can see here, if I can also have the insert to lexical. If I click this does not download again, rather it will just get what was loaded here and just put it to the lexical editor. So if I'm going to click this, as you can see, it's now in the lexical. So much faster, I would say. And then also you have now all the details of the metadata also added here into the lexical editor, right? So that one is dated at 1204 CE. So we can now let's just try to explore, assuming this one. Let's see how it will look like, right? And this one should be a bit more faster compared to before. But again, it still depends, of course, on the server available from the provider. So as you can see here, we have now another one. It's in black and white, dated 750 to 1000. So if I click insert lexical, you can see here, I have it here already, right? So I can click enter again. And then let's see, let's go even more earlier, right? 650 to 750. Okay, let's see this one, Chicago Oriental Institute. Let's see. Okay, so now for this one, it's another parchment, so dated 650 to 750 CE. And as you can see here, it has fully loaded, so there's a dot already. So at least you will know where are the files that you have loaded already. So you can see there's a dot here. So this is the one that was in white, for example. Before you don't have that distinction, so you're not able to know which file that was loaded. So let me just click insert lexical here. Insert to lexical. So as you can see, I've loaded. Now that one, as you can see, as you've observed, it's much faster than before. And of course, you can still zoom in, zoom out, of course, for this one, and so on and so forth, right? Or click this, and it will expand, right? So let me close that. So now that one, much, way faster, right? The other piece that I'd like to highlight as well is that you can, if you click this, right, you can pin this already, right? So if I click that, for example, any word morphology in this case, I can click that, and then if I click outside, it will go away. But if I click this, and then I can click pin, it will get pinned, and so that I can just drag it, and then let's see, I'm going to click another one, then I can say pin, and that would be pinned as well. So now I can study both, for example, right? And also one more thing is that if, say, for example, okay, I want to write something about this, and I want to put it to lexical here as well. So all I have to do is just, click this icon, for example. So if I click this, there you go. It has now added the word itself, which is this one, and also the details of the morphology of this word, right? Now, one thing that I'd like to highlight as well is that because this one supports multiple language already, all of the parts of the speech here will also get translated. So if I go here to settings and I change to, say, Melayu or Bahasa Indonesia. So it's Indonesian. Now, as you can see here, everything now is in Indonesia as well, right? And then if I click insert to lexica, that will also have even the translated part of it, right? Okay. Now, so that's how you do it, right? So let's try one more thing. Settings, let's try a different language. Let's say Korean. Okay. Assuming you are Korean. And you want, as you can see here, it's now in Korean. So if, for example, this one, I want to put this, there you go. So now it's in different language as well, right? So one last thing is that I also have this other icon here, and this one will help you put some notes about these words. Okay, so let me just go back to English just so we can understand. I mean, at least for me to understand it. So this is the words that we pinned, and so if we want to make some notes about any words, right? For example, if I want to say I want to write a note about, say, this one, awsatuhum. Okay, so I just have to highlight that awsatuhum, I just have to highlight that, and then I can click save highlight, and now I can also put some notes about this word, right? Some notes about this word, right? Save highlight, and now you can go there, and then we have here, okay, I forgot the alif and the hamza, alif hamza, and so we now have hausatum supposedly. But the thing is, the highlight as well has now improved. Before, you have to highlight properly so that you will see it. Now, even just a letter, even with the space, you can, as you can see, it's now much faster as well, right? So that's how you highlight a word, right? It's like something like this, and save highlight like before. But the other way that you can save this, put some notes, is if you want to, you want to click this. I mean, you want to write notes about this, but you also want to account in that note the say morphological features. So you just have to click that word awsatuhum, and then you can and click this icon. This one, it will highlight the word, and so you can see, same as before, but this time around, instead of us putting all of those copy pasting here because we want to write something about that, it has now put already all of those details, morphological features, so you don't have to write any copy paste, for example, right? So you can just click save. So now if you go to now highlights dialog, we now have two items here, for example. So we have here awsa to whom earlier before, for example, and then now we have here same word, right? But this one we have the what is the notes of the morphologies of this word as well. And so if I also want to say put this into lexical, so I can just click any of these. Like for example, I can click this. So some notes about this word that was from this one, yeah, for kalam and so on and so forth. And also this one, I can put it also here, for example, right? So as you can see, we've seen it already. Now you might be wondering, okay, why do we have this also to, like, we have this like weird character here, right? So for example, if I click, so we are good with that one, by the way. We are now progressing to a new topic, a new features. So one of the things that we've done here for morphological features, that we have a mapping of each of the Arabic characters into a Backwalter encoding, right? And this one can be used in the future as well for any computation, like computational analysis of these morphologies, right? And so here, for example, for each of the tokens, when we say tokens, this is like the parts of the words, right? We have here like a weird character here, but this is actually just a letter by character transliteration, or like encoding into Backwalter. So if for you to have to know about that more, now I've added this already in the help user guide. So now you can actually, it's now clickable. So if you click this, as you can see, we now have this window, and this window shows us the mapping, right? All of those weird characters, it has a corresponding mapping to the Arabic letter. So at least now, people will understand what's the purpose of it, right? So there you go. So that's how you do it, right? For bookmark, same as before. You can bookmark a particular ayah. So actually, you can of course highlight all of this, and then save highlight. So it's like same as bookmark, but because you've bookmarked the whole ayah. But you can also just go to the bookmark, and then just type in what ayah that you want to bookmark. And you can add some notes and so on and so forth, right? And yeah, so that's how you could do it. The other piece, of course, you can always go to the previous bookmark that you've added. So if I can click go, so as you can see, we have here the highlighted one for this one, for example, right? And then and as before, you can also directly insert this to lexical editor. So as you can see here, I've added it, right? Anyways, I think you guys knows this already before, but yeah, those are the new features. Okay, the other piece is that So if you go here, there is now an icon here. This is for table of contents. So here it will actually put some details here. If, say for example, I will start with clicking here, say title. So there you go. So we now have a heading. So it's now in a table of content. And then say for example, I have here section 1, for example. So I can go to title, I can go to section. So now we now have a what is this, table of content, and it depends on the 3 headings that we have here. So the third one here, you can say what's this, word morphologies. Okay, so as you can see here, it's also here, right? Word morphology, and then section, and then title, right? Now, the lexical editor here as well has an enhanced markdown capability. So for me to write that heading, I can just say this number sign, and then I can just type that and then press space, and then it will now turn into another title, right? As you can see here, another title. I have title here, another title, right? For second heading 2, I can just double that number sign, and then I can say another section, right? As you can see here, I have here another section, right? Then if I want to target heading 3, I can just type 3 number sign, then space, and then another subsection, for example. So right, so that's it. And the thing is, you can hide this, of course, right? You can hide that. There you go. The other piece that I'd like to highlight is it also has of course, for the list, for example, I can just type 1 and then period and then space. This will become a list. List. Then if I want to have like a sub list, I can just press tab while I'm in this number, for example, tab, and then sub list, and then sub list, right? I'll just hit tab, and then if I have to go more, of course I can hit under tab, sub list. But if I want to go back, and then I can just press shift tab. There you go. Then I can just delete that, for example, right? And then if I want to have an unordered list, I can just type in dash and then space. There you go. So now we are now in a unordered list, right? Unordered list, right? And then tab, unordered list, right? Okay. Next is this one also has a power, can also do some codes as well. Of course, you can just click here, right? You can just click here. You can also click here if you want to have a number, a checklist, a code, for example. So for a checklist, right? Checklist 2, and so I can just click that, of course, if I'm done. The other piece is I can also have a code. This is a sample code, right? So there you go. The other piece is that I can also write some codes, right? For example, for this one, but I can also just type here, this is an inline code. I can just enclose it in a backtick, right? There you go. That backtick is the key in the keyboard. It's actually before the number 1, right? So, yeah. And if I want to do some block code, I mean the inline, you can always click this, and it should okay. There's a bug for that one. Anyways, we can fix that. But again, you can do the inline, for example. But for block code, I can also either click this block code, and I can say struct code. I know this is JavaScript, so function foo x print sorry So log x, there you go, insert. That's a JavaScript code. So that's how you insert the codes, right? But I can also do something like this: backtick, and then I can say Julia, and then space. There you go. It automatically opens the um, the code component, and as you can see here, so if I do that again, Julia space, automatically my cursor is now already inside this code component, so I don't have to move my mouse, right? It's already here. So I can just say struct Ayah, and then say x is a string n, for example, and then I can just click save, right? So I can write that code as well. The other piece is that I can also enter mathematics, for example, right? So here I can say let and then for me to go to that inline mode of the math, I can just press / and then it will open this math, these options. So I can just press enter to, I mean, I can select any other commands here, but I can just select the first one, and then I would say x is an element of, say, a real number, right? And then there you go, right? And then suppose we have y over set text id as math, sorry about that, mathcal. It's normally distributed, for example, mean mu and variance sigma, right? And then assuming yeah, mu is an element of a real number, and that sigma is greater than, you know, 0. If I press enter, there you go. So another mathematics. If I now have to write the inline, I could just again go to the next line and then press / and then math block, right? And then I could say probability of y equal to small y, oh sorry about that, y equal to small y is now equal to frac 1 over square root of 2 pi sigma square. So this is for those who are not familiar with statistics. You should know that this is a normal distribution, and every statistician should know this really, really well by heart. Okay, so okay, we have an error there. There you go. So as you can see, we can insert inline math and so on and so forth, right? So for tables, right? Usually for tables, you can just go here, click the table here, and then I can just insert the table, right? But if I want to use the command, I can also, just type in like this one, again, like that one, and then select table. There you go, right? Or if I say I want a table with table with 4 rows and 2 columns, I can just add that. I can just type like that one as a command, and then I press tab. There you go. We now have 4 and 2 columns, right? Same, if I want to have a table with 2 rows and 4 columns, I can just do that. There you go. So now the lexical editor is much powerful, right? But I did notice that this one has a bug. For some reason, it's not working. So let me just record that so that I will be able to fix that in the next version, inshallah. So inline code menu is not working. Okay, there you go. Next, okay, so now we are done with the lexical. What else? Let's see. Let's go to the, we have this translation, right? We've done that. So the reciters, I've shown you that. The highlight, I've shown you that. The commands, I've shown you that. Yep, I've shown you this also. So as for the translation, we have new translation for Spanish, Japanese, Korean, Portuguese, and Chinese as well. And of course, you can see it here, right? So where is it? Yeah, there you go. So we have here. So as you can see, we have a lot, right? So I didn't have to click anything, but we do have a lot, right? The other piece that I'd like to highlight is, which is, okay, before we go to the Sukun mode, the other piece that I'd like to highlight is that you can now have a, for typist editor. So this is for Lexical. For typist editor, so if I create a typist, right, I can now, and then I will hide this Surah page. Let me hide that. I can now create a book form. So if I go here to settings, I have two libraries here, right, for typist packages. The ilm package, if I open that, and we just try to copy this, right, the example, and then paste that here. Let's see. Okay, there's an error because it has this bibliography, which we don't have that ref.bib, so we just have to remove that. And as you can see here, I now have a book, right? A book format, and then I can just enter any other text here, right? So for example, I can just change the title here, introduction to Quranic studies, right? And then I can just add my name here. Let's add, there you go, right? So this is a library which was already part of the previous or initial version, but for some reason it was not working, but now it's now working, right? So you can write a book using this one also, using Typist, and you can just follow the instructions for on how to use Typist, right, in this library, right? So I have the link also in the settings page, so you can just follow it. But now the next question is, okay, we can now create a book. What about presentation? Of course, Typist can do that, but do we have like a package also that we can just use, like a template, right? So we also have that. It's Dia Typist. So if I click here, GitHub, and they have this page, so it actually looks like this one. So it looks like this one, and you can modify the colors and so on and so forth. So, but if I go to their website and then just go to the quick start, and then let's just copy this one, right? So let's see. Okay, and then let's create a new typist, and then paste it. There you go. So now we have a presentation, and I can just say no, introduction. So now here we have the introduction, history of the Quran. Yeah. Is that how you do? Okay, I'm not going to save this. History of the Quran, and then I can say during the time of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that. Okay, and so on and so forth. And as you can see here, I have now a presentation, right? So for those who are familiar with LaTeX, this is like the equivalent of Beamer, but this one is presentation for typists. Introduction to Quran. So the AyahLab, it's a full package, right? Once you study the Quran, you can casually you can put it in the lexical notes. But if you are now ready for publication and presentation, you can also use this to create some presentation and also to create some books, for example, or to use it to publish, create some journal formatted papers, for example. You can also use this, right? So yeah, there you go. Now, the other piece that I'd like to highlight is that before, right? So let me try to open a folder here, right? And then let me just open this. So now I have here the folders. So if I open this file, right? So I have the Julia code, and then I have here the lexical page, and then we have here the typist example, and again another typist example. So if I go to the create another Julia, for example, right? Sample code, assuming, right? I can, so long as we hide the Sura page, if I don't hide that, I can see this, of course, right? And then I have here the Julia page. But if I hide this, you will see an option, this one, the split view. So because we have two Julia codes here, I think I did not open that. I have to double click. Okay, let me see. Where is it? Here it is. So if I click the split view, it will combine the two Julia. I mean, I have the option to combine, so I can just select this, right? So now I have here the second file, Julia untitled, which is the sample code earlier, now on top of another file, right? And then as you can see here, they are linked already, right? I can now this time around unlink this, of course, and then I can instead split view this with a different type of file. In this case, for example, typist, for example. So as you can see here, I have here a Julia, and then I also have here a typist version. So just in case you have to, do some coding, and then after that you have to put it here to the typist editor, you can also do that, right? So you can now have a side by side, right? Same for lexical editor. So for example, here I combine these two also, but I did notice this, by the way. I don't know, this is a typist, so another typist file. But let's unlink this, and let's see this one, a lexical. There you go. So now I have paired a lexical editor and another Julia code, right? So I can also unlink this, and let's see, unlink this also, and then let's see, I want to link this with the other lexical earlier. So as you can see here, I have near the two, but there's one bug that I found. Where is it? I think this one. Yeah, this one, for some reason I cannot pair this. Let's see if I can pair this with, is this file, what file is this? This is, oh yeah, this one. Yeah, for some reason, let me see, double click, okay, and then let's pair it with this one. See, as you can see, for some reason it's not pairing, but it actually works for the other types of data. The thing is, you can pair already, but I did notice that bug, so I just have to fix that, but we are already actually in the split editor mode. So basically you can actually pair here. This is the left and the right panel, for example, but for some reason for other cases it seems to be not working, right? But in any case, do let me know if you also experience that case. I'll try to find the bug in it, right? But that's the intention, is to have that two split view. Okay, so we're done with that, and then finally I think we are at the final stage, which is the Sukun mode, right? The Sukun mode here, for those who are familiar with, say, VS Code and Z editor here, for example, we have what we call Zen mode, where you remove the distractions from the app, and that's the intention of the Sukun mode here, right? So you have here this view, right? But as you can see, we have a lot of icons and so on and so forth. If I want to go to the Sukun mode, I can just go to the settings and then enable this Sukun mode. So if I click that, now what you notice that the icons are now hidden. It's much cleaner, right? Much cleaner. But whenever you want to, just in case you forgot where those icons are, for example, and you want to just, have a peek where they are, there is this new like button at the center at the top, and it has tooltip here saying show icons. If I click that, it's like a candle. Yeah, basically it's actually a candle. And the intention here is that, as you can see here, you have an idea where the icons are, right? Just in case you forgot where they are, right? So the Sukun mode removes all of those icons so that you have a much more um, cleaner view, right? So as you can see here, much more cleaner. So if I close that, as you can see, so let me remove myself, much more cleaner. If I go back to the non-Sukun mode, disable, as you can see, we have a lot of items ongoing. We have a lot of icons, of course, which is for might be, it might work for you, but for those who just want to have a very clean look, you can just enable the Sukun mode, and now you have a very clean setup. But whenever you need to say, just want to peek into that icons, you can just click this and you will see it, right? And of course, in dark mode, we do have that, we do have that. So there you go. And then if I click this again, there you go, I can see all of the icons. Alhamdulillah, I think that's all for today. I do hope you'll be able to use this, or you'll be able to install this successfully in your system. But if you do have some problems, feel free to create a topic in that discourse page that I mentioned earlier. And if you've liked these applications as well, please share this to all of your friends. And if you do have the capacity to donate, then I do appreciate if you can also support me on that end as well. That will really help finance the development of these projects as well. The other piece is, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, then Alhamdulillah, please subscribe. We've grown a lot already, I would say. Alhamdulillah. But yeah, I think I've covered everything. So let me just double check again, if in case I missed something. Okay, so I did not miss. I just have here all of the bug fixes, so you can just read this through. But Alhamdulillah, I hope you learned something. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.